What's up guys, Justin with Bite and Fight Angler, and in this video I want to show you how to use our flicker fluke. So as we all know, in the summer we always have the bait hatches, especially like in saltwater. You're going to have the shrimp, you're going to have the glass minnows, you're going to have all the small baits that are going to be hatching, and they're going to be in the marshes, they're going to be in the bays, they're going to be around the grass lines, they're going to be around oyster beds. And this is a good way to use the flicker fluke to imitate those, and I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to rig it up. First off, let's start by, this is a 3.5 inch. We have a 5 inch as well, but in the summertime you're going to want to use this 3.5 inch for the smaller profile to help match the hatch. As far as colors, we have a good color selection. We have things that look like glass minnows, we have things that look like shrimp, we have some bright colors, we have some pearls, we have some dark colors to help them, just to help them see that profile whenever you have it in the strike zone. 3 effective ways that you can rig this up is going to be on a swim bait hook. This is a 3/0. I like a 3/0. You can also go down to a 2/0 if you'd like, or a 1/0. I wouldn't go over a 3/0 with this 3.5 inch bait, just so that you still have that little bit of tail action. On a weighted swim bait hook, which is this is an 1/8 ounce, and then here it is also weightless. So this is 2 effective ways that you can rig it on a swim bait hook. The next effective way is going to be to rig it on a Ned head, a Ned style jig head. And what that's going to do is it's going to make that bait stand up in the water on the bottom, and every time you twitch it, it's going to give it a little hop, and then it's going to stand right back up, and this tail is going to give it a little bit of action every time that you jerk it, twitch it, whatever you're doing. It's going to give it some good action. And then also we have just a little ball head jig head. This is an 1/8 ounce. This is a salty head. It's got the twist lock on it. You can use any jig head you prefer, 1/8 ounce. One thing about the reason I like these is it has the smaller hook on it. The thinner wire hooks, don't be scared to use those. As long as you have your drag set right, honestly, these will actually penetrate flounder and redfish a lot easier than those thicker wire hooks. The thicker wire hooks are good to kind of horse them in. You're going to want to use your drag a little bit more when you use these thinner wire hooks, but they are great. Now, if you prefer the thicker wire on the Ned head, it might be a little bit harder to find, but on the jig heads, you can use whichever jig head you prefer. I like these just because they fit the body style a lot better, so these are the jig heads I use. They have that thinner wire hook, but I have no issues with it. I haven't lost any fish because of it. As long as you let the drag work, you're not going to bend that hook out. So, and if you do, you might be hung on a rock. Next, I'm going to go over to the little fish tank I have and let y'all see these kind of in action. Tactical angler clip. I do have that on there right now. It is a good way to have, instead of tying a loop knot, if you don't want to tie a loop knot, you can put one of these on. I'm just doing it right now to be able to swap out all these real quick. This weightless, this was actually shown to me at the Houston Fishing Show. I had a guy that came and did the fill it and seal it for $10, and he tried to find every single one of these little flicker flukes in there that I had, and I asked him what was he doing with them. And he actually fished freshwater, and he said that he was putting them on weightless, and he was using them for bass and white bass. So honestly, once you see the action on this thing and how it falls, I think we might be on to something. This is the way I still like to fish it, but I'm probably going to start trying it this way a little bit more whenever I don't have a lot of current or fighting a lot of wind. This looks like it's going to be a good addition to what I'm doing. First up is going to be the weightless. Look at how that falls, nice and slow. So that, now whenever you have it where you can actually work it, this has a great jerk bait action, darting action. But if you just kind of look at, if you jerk it and let it fall, just look at how it falls. That's a pretty nice little fall. This is going to be on the 16th or the 1/8 ounce weight. Now it does fall faster, but if you still see, you can get some good jerks and some good darting action with that 16th ounce or that 1/8 ounce swim bait hook. I mean, you're not gonna be jerking this thing like really hard. You don't really need to. Look at the action that it puts off, just barely being able to move in this tank. Next is the Ned head, and I'm gonna show y'all what it does. It just stands up. So this is a really good, if you can see the redfish or the flounder, pretty much more for redfish, but I mean, if you know that there's a fish there, you can literally just let it sit there like that, and then give it and make it look alive a little bit, move it around, twitch it. But you can keep this bait with a lot of action in the same spot. I mean, see, I mean it's barely moving from that one spot. So that's a great way to entice a fish that's just sitting there, won't mess with your bait. I mean, look at how it just kind of stands up. Then it has that little jerk action. I mean, and then it's just going right back down. That right there will make a fish bite. Last but not least, we have just the 1/8 ounce jig head. Now it's got kind of the same action, but as you can see, it falls down slowly. So that's still a really good looking fall, because it looks alive. It stays kind of moving. I mean, you can use this jig head and you can keep it pretty much in the same spot, but as it falls, it's gonna fall slow. See how that falls? So that kind of makes it look like it's alive to the fish, even when you're not doing nothing. It's just gonna kind of lay down, And as you can also see, when I'll let it fall all the way down, you can see that tail still kind of sticks up. That tail still stays up off the bottom. So if you're giving it a couple of little twitches, even when it's laid down like that, you're still getting some good enticing action for something to entice the fish to bite it. So now that you've seen the action, we have these in, I mean, we got them in natural colors. This is blue haze. We have them in glow. I mean, we now have them in purple shad. That's a great color. If you need something bright, we have it in lemon sugar. We have it in chartreuse splash. If you need something in some more darker, dirtier water, we have it in Texas roach. Something to stand out, we have it in electric chicken, pearl. That's a good color even in dirty water. We have it in a shrimpy color, our peppermint bone. We have this is Killer Croaker. This is a remelt of the sprues of Killer Croaker. That is a good looking color. And then we also have it in Toxic Limit. Remember, you know, matching the hatch doesn't necessarily mean that you have to match the color of it. Matching the hatch is the profile. As long as the fish can see it, they'll hit it. And you're working that bait in front of them, and you know they're looking at it. They don't have hands to just kind of pick it up and see what it is. They have to bite it, taste it. So when you feel that thump, be ready to set the hook, so that way you don't miss that fish that may not be really looking to eat, but just wondering what it is and just trying to see if it's something that he wants to. Even working a color like this around a bunch of glass minnows, your bait's gonna stand out. It's gonna be different, but it's gonna look like the other glass minnows, just in a different color. It's gonna make it stand out. So natural colors at it, you can see it, it's just not biting. Throw something crazy at it real quick and see if that doesn't entice that fish to bite, because it's gonna make his curiosity jump up there and spike. It's not gonna really scare them off. More than likely it's gonna make them curious. And just like a cat, I mean, how many times have you seen a cat chase a laser? They don't want to eat a laser, they want to play with it, you know. I kind of feel like fish are the same way, but they don't have paws, they don't have hands to pick things up. The only way that they can do it is suck it in and see if they want it, and if not, spit it out. That's kind of how they play with it and see what things are. So be ready to hold on if you use these, because in that smaller profile, when that smaller bait's around, this is something that you want to have in your box. It's a great bait to use, easy bait to use, as you can see. But just to kind of close this out, it's being overlooked by a lot of good anglers that really need to try that out. It's a good way to get those bites and match the hatch when you have a lot of smaller bait around. Throwing a paddle tail is great, and I have nothing against it. The Haymaker has caught me so many fish, but whenever you're around a bunch of glass minnows or something like that, little small shrimp, grass shrimp, throwing that around could mean a couple more bites.